So you have an interview in 1 hour, 2 hours, half a day, even tomorrow. We have to get you prepared. In this video, I'm going to share with you my top last-minute interview tips so that you can nail your interview and ultimately get the job. Are you ready? Let's get started. But first, for all the guidance that you need to get hired and to accelerate to your next promotion, subscribe to my channel. I post weekly content that will help you along every step on your journey towards landing your dream job and living your dream life. Make sure to click that bell to be notified whenever I drop a new video. I don't want you to miss a beat. My name is Cindy Makita Dodd. I am a career strategist and coach, also the founder of Hired Institute. And in short, we help people land their dream jobs and accelerate to their next promotion. So you find yourself in a position where you've been called in for an interview, so congrats on that. Maybe it's in an hour, maybe it's in 2. Here are the must-know tips to nail your interview, to be prepared for it, and to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing when you get there. So I call this your interview one-pager. So everything that I'm going to share with you today is going to fit onto a one-page A4 document that you're going to use to prep for this interview, okay? So step number 1, you want to stalk the company. And yes, I mean it. You want to scour through their social media pages, their website, have a look at their LinkedIn page. Every resource that you can get a hold of that's related to the company, you must. What do you want to have a look at? You want to know, and write this down, what is the vision and mission of the company? Why do they exist? Number 2, you want to know what their core values are, because the values of the company tell you a lot about the culture of the company. This is important. Number 3, you want to know, have they released any new products or services within the last few months or even a year? And then last but not least, have a look at if there's any media or news-related articles or videos on the company, maybe their CEO, CFO, any kind of media that you can get your hands on is crucial. Why is this important? As this first step? Well, of course, you want to know more about the company that you are interviewing for. I've hosted tons of interviews with candidates and they know nothing about the company. I'm sure because they're applying for hundreds of positions, and that's okay. But in order to stand out, you want to make sure that you know and understand what the company does, what their mission and values are, how they are doing within the market, and any new releases, products, or services that they have. This is going to help you stand out. Number 2, the next thing that you want to list on your one-pager is your power 3. So what is your power 3? These are the top 3 skills that are listed in the job description that you possess as well with a result. So let's run through this. What does that mean? I want you to have a look at the job description and highlight 3 requirements or skills that form the basis or the core of the role. So say, for example, those skills are project management, team leadership, and organization. You identify these 3 things as the must-have requirements or responsibilities for this role. The next step, after you've identified those 3 things from the job description, you want to write next to it, what is the value that you bring in that area? So I want you to think back on your past experience and pull out a result that backs up the fact that you have that skill. So if your skill is leadership or managing teams, you want to have a measurable result of how you have led and managed teams in the past. So for example, you could say, led a team of 5 project managers within the marketing industry. So you want to have a tangible result to back up the fact that you have that skill. So again, you want to list out your power 3 skills that are within the job description that you possess as well as a core part of the role, and an example to back up with a result that you have that skill. This is going to be essential within the interview process, because not only will you demonstrate that you understand exactly what they are looking for, you can also demonstrate that you have what it takes to fulfill that role and bring value to the table. Your Power 3 can be used to answer multiple interview questions, so make sure that you have those on hand. Always remember that employers hire for results. So the more measurable results and examples you can give throughout the interview process, the better. So at the top of your page, you have all about the company. Then you've listed out your power 3 that you've pulled from the job description with examples. And now I want you to craft 2 career stories. What are career stories? They are short stories or examples that you pull from your past career experience that demonstrate a certain outcome. Very often within interviews, you will get asked behavioral or situational type questions. And the best way to answer these are with career stories. So I'm not going to take you through an entire long process on how to craft 10 stories. All I'm asking for you to craft is 2. 1, you're going to craft a challenging story. And number 2, you're going to craft a success story. Let's have a look at these 2. So your challenge story is going to demonstrate how you faced a difficult time, a challenge or a struggle within your career, and how you overcame it. And your success story is going to demonstrate when you had an achievement, a success, or a great result. By having these 2 stories crafted in advance, you will be able to answer almost any behavioral situational type question within the interview. What are some examples of behavioral situational type questions that may be asked? Let's have a look. You may get asked to describe a situation where you saw a problem and took steps to fix it. You could be asked to tell them about a time where you failed and how you dealt with that situation. You could even get asked to give an example of a time you managed numerous responsibilities and how you handled that. Within those 3 scenarios, I would use my challenge story because it shows how I had a challenge, the steps I took to overcome it, and what the result was. Tell me about a time you reached a big goal at work. How did you reach it? Tell me about your proudest professional accomplishment. Tell me about a time you set a goal for yourself. How did you go about ensuring that you would meet your objective? Within those 3 behavioral type questions, I would answer them with my success story. So you can see I haven't crafted 6 different stories to answer those questions, right? Because maybe 1 or 2 may come up. But I have 2 really good examples and stories, one of a challenge and one of a success that I can pull out during the interview and portray and express how I dealt with it in that case. Crafting those 2 stories is going to save you a lot of time as you're preparing for this last minute interview. Here's a bonus tip. If you can relate those 2 stories back to your power 3 list, that will be powerful. Why is that? Because you're already assuming that they're going to ask you questions that are centered around the core responsibilities of the role. You've already identified what those were within your power 3, right? So try and craft your career stories around what you know the employer is looking for. So that is your 1-pager. Again, to repeat, you'll have about the company right at the top. You want to review this often and really understand the company. Then you're going to list out your power 3, the 3 things from the job description, the main requirements and responsibilities of the role, and how you are able to produce that result from past experience. And then you're going to write out your 2 career stories, one of a success that you accomplished, something great, a result, and the other side, a challenge that you faced and how you overcame it. And that is your 1-pager. I want you to review that as many times as you can prior to the interview. It's gonna set you up for success. And some more tips for this last minute interview. Make sure that you prep the logistics beforehand. If you're gonna be doing a virtual interview, make sure that you know exactly what software is being used, that you've tested it beforehand, right? The sound, the visual, and that everything is working fine, because you don't want any interruptions at the time of your interview. And if you're going in person, make sure that you know exactly how to get there, who you are going to be meeting with when you get there, and make sure you give yourself enough time to arrive and get comfortable. If you have time, if and only you have some more time as you're prepping for this last minute interview, I want you to practice the answers to the most commonly asked interview questions. If you follow my 1-pager, you'll have enough information for this last minute interview. But if you have additional time to practice, make sure that you know the answers to these. Number 1, tell me a little bit more about yourself. Number 2, why did you apply for this role? Number 3, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? And number 4, what are your career goals? 5 to 10-year goals. You can write these down on your 1-pager as well. Practice them, repeat them as many times as possible. I hope this was helpful. All the best with your interview. I know that you are going to nail it if you use these tips. and you practice as much as possible. If you are looking to land your dream job or to transition into your next career opportunity, I want you to join me at my free training. In this training, I lay out how to find and land your dream job within the next 60 to 90 days using my 5-step process that has helped others just like you land their next opportunity. Click the link in the description to join me at the free training, and I'll see you there. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment below any questions that you have relating to interviewing and that last-minute interview, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.